response.
Chair, import of sugar would have cost 100% import duty, or $460 per metric ton if there was no duty remission. On this one, we secured the duty remission in the East African community, and therefore at 10%.
Why I'm asking, I asked from two different countries of origin. If it came from Brazil, what will be the duty? And from South Africa, what will be the duty?
I think there's no duty difference, Chair, because South Africa and Brazil are outside the East African community and the Comesa. Is South Africa part of Comesa? I don't think so. The price would ordinarily, the duty would ordinarily be the same for the two origins.
All answer I was looking for. Let's proceed. Now we take another round. Yeah. So I want us to be brief so that we can cover other members who are waiting. So we start from Kishimo, Parashina, Kishimo, then.
You had already given me the mic.
Okay, proceed.
So before I lose my points or line of thought, CS, I really appreciate you for taking the initiative of bringing all the maths for there to be like some coordination in terms of dealing with this raw sugar. And I believe the reason would be because you are faced with an unprecedented issue of importation of raw sugar. And where, in my own research, there existed no regulations on how to deal with the raw sugar. Other sugars, you've never had these kind of things because there are regulations governing. Maybe out of that meeting, did you ensure, as the person who brought all this math, that now regulations were put in place to guide the process of importation, transportation, processing, and anything in respect of the raw sugar? And the first question you asked us, as per your statement, is that can they, if this sugar is placed on the table, can it be consumed? And the answer you got was no. I think the right question would have been, would this sugar be good for human consumption? Because if you just place it there and someone consumes, maybe someone can consume, but is it good or safe for human consumption? I think that ought to be the right, but let me go to the other question so that I don't take too long. If you look at your annexures 2, form part of the letters that the ministry considered prior to granting of this exemption. The first letter, there's one letter dated 11th of January 2024 by Mombasa Sugar Refinery Limited, which was applying for importation of duty-free raw sugar for manufacture of industrial sugar, which was followed by a letter dated there's a letter dated 6th February 2024 by the Ministry, State Department for Agriculture. If you look at those letters, I believe there is a disparity in terms of documentation because those letters refer, including the one that applied for importation by Mombasa Sugar Refinery Limited, dated 11th January 2024. And if those were the basis under which then you also considered that importation, then I think it's wrong, because the document that we have is that Mombasa Sugar Refinery Limited changed its name to Mombasa Sugar Refinery Limited on 14th November 2023. Yet, their letter is dated 11th January 2024. So it means that this application for importation of raw sugar was made by a wrong company or by an non-existent company. Maybe you may need to clarify that, because the document that I have on the change of name is dated 14th November 2023, unless you have a different one. So maybe those are some of the areas that I would like clarification, Chair. I think the other issues have already been answered.
Thank you, Chair. And I don't want to take you back, because you say that we go to specific questions. But I start by maybe appreciating the coming of Waziri. We say thank you for coming to shed more light. And now, you also say that you approve, you just approve whatever the records come on the sugar, on the importation of sugar raw, without really looking at nitty-gritty where it comes from. So that's another question that the committee has also been able to get it up. But now, since you form a multi-agency, you had to form a multi-agency to check, or even during the time of giving out the approval, for the sake of the country, kindly, this is my message, kindly, tell your multi-agency, those multi-agency people who are working there, for the safety of the country, the specific sugar, raw sugar, is under query, kindly. So that we not lose the Kenyans, just to benefit few, or some people getting advantages of bringing certain items in this country, and they run with the money, and the Republic suffers more. And I want, Chair, because I know we used to come with one party, and they was used to my chair. I want to take you back to 2024. As you know, history repeats itself in this country. You, as a cabinet secretary, you are responsible in terms of oversighting KRA. Is it also? I think that's the case. 2024, I just wrote here, there was a case on importation of contaminated sugar, where KRA again lost money. So Kenyans lost revenue. During that case, the Vinpac case, it was called a Vinpac case. And the sugar was coming from Mauritius. Now, a multi-agency was formed like this one. So I just want to say, tick. And in fact, in basic understanding, it is when you form a multi-agency, is a simple way to run away from responsibility, Chair. Because a case is supposed to be done by one person, then again now it's from 20 people. So that the person who takes responsibility it's not able to trace who takes the responsibility. So multi-agency that was from that time there was a lady in KRA who was even fired. A staff from KRA was fired. Those juniors suffered more, but the cabinet and those people who are within the apex enjoyed. They move in big cars and live in big places. But Kenyans lost. Chair, I'm bringing a point here. That time, the sugar was contaminated because it had mercury, and they would say that that sugar should be destroyed or used for ethanol. To today, there's no single evidence of the mercury contaminated sugar with mercury that was either destroyed or even used for ethanol. So, ukiumwa na nyoka, ukiona kamba, ogopa. This is the same scenario. So, Chair, that's one question I wanted to ask Waziri. You had also been a member of parliament. And there's a way people run away when member of parliament do inquiry. since we are doing inquiry of this sugar, and it's our belief that this sugar is getting into the market, basically itakaushwa kidogo tu kwa sababu inaonekana kama mafuta ikaushwe, then it gets to the market. So how are we going to get report? How are we as members of parliament of this committee be able to take you liable, or you can take a responsibility because you are also forming the multi-agency and the KRA fall under your purview, or it will be members of parliament are just making noise. Because if you are making noise, just let the public know that we will never get facts about that sugar. It will get to our lives, and those who die with the cancer will be our people. Finally, Mr. Chair, if you knew there is no regulation, there is a law, yes, as my senior said, but there is no regulation. If there is no regulation, how do you put it in practice to say that it is taking care of public interest, and there's no single regulation allowing you that? So what is this rush? In Mombasa, I saw those white guys there in Mombasa. When we go to Kisumu, where you come, because the sugar also comes from there, even the place they said to accumulate that sugar, the space is too small. It just shows there's like a small place for ingie, we kausha the thing, iende Kedhorai. Na uzuri Mungu ni mzuri. Itaanza ni Kisumu and Siaya chair. Can you let us because it will start there before it gets Masai in some. No. Before it gets in Kajiado, it will start in your regions.
There is a store here. There's a store here.
Let's be brief. Honorable Wainaina, then we close with Kamene on that one, on your questions. Be brief to the questions.
Thank you, Chair. It was saying, this factory of Kibos opened 2014. It have taken more than 12 years before it started working. At all that time, when we opened the factory, before you invest in a factory, you must first of all do research where you are going to get your raw material to do that factory. And for that matter, I am sure they have looked and checked that this factory we are implementing, we are going to get raw material. From all that time, that factory was not operating. It operated during this about one year after it started operating. Why was it not operating that 12 years? You told us that they said that there have been there was harassment between those situations because they were not operating, they were not getting raw material. Basically, when we went there and we tried to investigate what is low sugar, low sugar is almost a table sugar. And when we try to ask those people, how can you differentiate this sugar and low sugar? What they told us, and those people who were there even kept, is just that wetness. Even if you do that sugar, you put it to the sun and get dry, you can take it to the table sugar. The other thing, what we were told, is only the particles, because when they were loading, they were just scooping to where it was done, scooping to the ship, and that particles is only different a table sugar and low sugar. By that, you are saying, when we say here, we are bringing low sugar, who is benefiting out of this low sugar? There before, we got information that when we are trying to save this manufacturer, we increased the duty for low sugar, which is being used by manufacturers. That means all those manufacturers, when they go to buy their low sugar to make their product, the low sugar to make their product, they will increase to their prices at 5%. If that's the case, Wasiri, there is many factories which in this country, and that factory will not be able to meet the demand of those factories. Those people, Wasiri, they will go and buy low sugar. They import sugar with an increased duty because of protect this factory. In that case, somebody have invested, Wasili. He have opened a factory based by what it was there before. Then when you go to import sugar, he was told that you have to increase that 5%. But this factory itself, it is not meeting the demand of the country. Uganda, they have factory of low sugar. For us to do increase of duty, or excess duty. We have to meet the East African community. This we did currently, and Uganda, they have been manufacturing those sugar, low sugar. And I'm sure even this factory was intended, and when they were making this factory, they were looking to use the local sugar cane, which we used here. They were not intended to import that low sugar. Now, between us and the low sugar which is coming, where are we benefiting? Because there's a low sugar which is already finished. We are just coming here to do the final tune, just cleaning and make it here the head of it. We are not benefiting. Ms. Wasili, we are saying here we are employing people. It is true. We are creating job. We are creating job one factory. But you are killing job 10,000 factory. Because those people who are small factory will rely with that big factory. And that big factory, Wasili, and I want to hear, this is not happening. I'm an expert of small industry. What happened is that those people will not import small quantity, they will rely with this one. And they will close their small business, try with one person, employ 700 people, and they have employed 200,000 people. And that is my take.
Honorable Kamene, then he answers, then I'll come back to Mwalio and myself.
Chair, let me start from appreciating the CS for coming before us. But what I've had today is very amazing. Chair, we got an opportunity. Let me just remind every one of us, we got an opportunity to start from the port. And that the day we went there, I wish our people could give us those videos that we took. We did not see any multi-agents. We did not see any multi-agents people there. In fact, the only person that was there and was of use was the chair of the Sugar Board, Kenya Sugar Board. Next, we came to the depots here in Nairobi. The same was the case. What we saw there was another even total different from what you're talking about. In short, the multi-agency and the Sugar Board that you're hailing responsible for all this. I think the Sugar Board, even when we called them, I think there were only 3. And one is the one who was only appearing. And answering questions was also a problem. And it looked like everything has been organized from the Treasury. Everything is from the Treasury. It has proved now. Indeed, it's like everything is being organized. And even if it is being organized there, Waziri, you're so qualified to understand that there are procedures. The issue of the regulations. How do you just put everything? Let's start in the market. What is this hurry about? Kibos was not going anywhere. This importation of raw sugar was not going anywhere. Why didn't we get good procedures so that we can protect our people? As we told you, and we are insisting. It is there. It is being processed in tandem with the other white sugar. How are people? Why didn't we get a bonded warehouse? Yeah, why didn't we get a bonded? For you to ensure that at least you want to protect the people of Kenya, to make sure they'll not use this contaminated sugar. But somehow everything has been rushed. Sure. No, this day is very wrong. You have to answer us. We want you to explain us. We want to understand very well why all this has been rushed that way. We have not. And why aren't there good procedures? Imagine, it is so sad.
Okay, let's Waziri answer. We can't take all.
Mine is so short.
Okay, then we close.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Waziri, that you are here to prosecute this case and be able to answer all those. From the word go, the Sugar Board people lied to you that that Kibos was right to import this raw sugar, because first of all, there were no regulations for raw sugar. Number two, the board was not properly constituted. The board's quorum is 7, and there were only 3. So from the word go, everything went wrong, and they lied to you because you are up there and they are down there. They thought they knew you don't have those nitty-gritties. So they were not in the right standing to even give a permit because they were not constituted. No director was representing the farmers themselves. Even now, there is no one. So the whole thing is a saga because the importer had maybe spent so much money on the factory and then was in a hurry to bring that the consignment. That is why you had to fetch even the consignment from South Africa, from Brazil, so that the ship can be filled with all the consignments from different places to bring it up in a hurry. So the whole thing is a saga which should have been done in the proper way. Even now, if he finishes whatever we saw him processing, how will he bring another consignment for continuity in the market? Because the board is not even constituted. We'll go to the same saga.
Not responded to properly. Just allow me to reframe based on the letter written by the PS to the Commissioner General on 17th July 2025 on the issue of timelines. In the third paragraph, the letter, the raw sugar shall be imported in accordance with the South African Community Council Management Act 2005 regulations. If the raw sugar is not refined into sugar for industrial use, the applicable taxes include import declaration fee and development levy, and the penalties and interest thereof shall be due and payable to the Commissioner. The question I asked, which was not answered, what were the time frame attached to the processing of the raw sugar for industrial use? Or was it open-ended? It could as well take 20 years or 50 years. Thank you.
Yes, Waziri, you may answer those ones. Waziri, the point which is not clear here, you did very well to make sure you have put multi-agency task force in place to make sure that goods from the port to Mombasa Sugar Refinery arrive in safe hands as per the thinking. But now, in your submission, number 35, you write that the approval purpose of the consignment was refining into food grade and pharmaceutical grade industrial sugar. Compliance was to be ensured through controls over the release, movement, custody, processing, and utilization of the imported raw sugar.